Are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Well, who says you can't go home twice? Last week we were at the home of iRacing. Now here tonight we are at the home of NASCAR. It is the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina for the first road course race of the season for the iSNF Cup Series. It is the NASCAR HQ 100 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening here tonight. Alongside me tonight, my broadcast partner from the car to the broadcast booth, Alan Bergen. Alan, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. You were a participant last week at the iRacing Superspeedway. I'm sure with what we have 36 cars, even more than that, about 38 cars set to go around the first road course. I bet you're pretty happy you're up here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're going left and right. Last week it was a 3 mile super speedway, and well, last week's adventure in a car didn't fare out as we hoped. And essentially, I get to be up here with you, and so we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
Yep, absolutely. And Alan, I understand you are dealing with a little bit of a cold, so we also have a couple of drivers tonight that are dealing with colds as well. So it is certainly going around as we jump into the month of February in 2024. Really quick, let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight's race. Currently, Angel Hernandez sits out in front by 10 points over Christian Delgado. Charles Etienne Boucher currently sitting in third. He is going to be a big factor here in this race tonight. Joey Maines, Mark Morton, Joey Burgee, Isaac Wilson, Andrew Miller, and Chris Van Maastricht and Tristan Bailey rounding out the top 10. Still very early in the season here, Alan, so points are going to be close, which means mistakes are going to be magnified.
For sure, but this is one of those tracks where you can't make a mistake, because if you do, it'll cost you dearly.
Yep, absolutely. And we have, as far as tonight goes, it's going to be a little bit different here tonight because it is a road course. We are going to be going straight through here tonight. Stage breaks will be at laps 20 and 40. However, there will not be a caution for those stage breaks. No cautions are planned here for this race tonight, unless I'm sure there's some big pile up that a caution needs to be thrown. But no cautions are planned for this race tonight, even for the stage break. So it will be interesting, especially going around the first road course of this season. As we jump into this month of February, we do have a couple of very good races. We're going to be getting back to normal over the next couple of weeks. Auto Club Speedway will be coming up next week. Homestead Miami Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway will round out the month of February. So we're going to be going fast racing over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited for Auto Club, as that's a track that's really raced well. And in the real world, I hate to see it go, but nonetheless, we still have the OG version here in iRacing.
Yep, absolutely. As we got about about a minute or so left to go before we get into the qualifying session. Right now, Charles Etienne Boucher currently tops the pylon. A full second, there's no really other way to put it, a full second faster than Tristan Bailey in the number 19, Jackson Carr, Joshua Grosso, Hayden Lowell, who is a sub-driver here today in car number 71. He is currently running in the 5th position as far as practice is concerned. Angel Hernandez sitting in 6th. We do have several debutantes here this week. The 41 of Julian Pastor will be taking over full-time in car number 41. That was Cowie Gomez's ride. However, Cowie Gomez, at least for the moment, is going to be moving over to the 4 car as a change of work schedule for Alex Wegert means that he can no longer participate here on Saturday nights. So the 4 will go to Cowie Gomez instead of the 41. Matthias Busk will go in the 8 car here tonight for Franz Bretschneider, and again, Hayden Lowell will be subbing in for Chris Otto. Those are your 3 debutantes here tonight as we are getting set to roll here in the qualifying session as the first of the cars get set to roll out on circuit. Let's take a look. There is car number 71 of Hayden Lowell. Again, it's going to be a very big field here tonight. We're going to have 38 cars qualifying for this race. As almost a full field here for the first road course of the season. And typically one of the races that you would expect guys to kind of lay out as we see Isaac Wilson about to hit the first chicane. And Alan, there are plenty of treacherous points here around this road course. That right there, what we just saw with Isaac Wilson going through the backstretch chicane, certainly is one of them.
Yeah, you got to be careful because the car will get really, really loose coming through that first chicane. As we're watching, let's see here, it's the 7 car. You got to be real careful because when you come off the infield section and come onto the NASCAR part, you're going to get really loose and the car is going to get really upset.
Just like 24 just got there going on to the infield with Isaac Wilson. He is the first one to start a lap. As a couple more drivers, let's take a look here. The 15 of Michael Hagstrom currently out on track at the moment. An N29 machine circulating for its first time. 51 of John Hopley on his first lap as well. That Walmart Ford Mustang. Third fastest car in practice, was second fastest for quite some time. The 13 of Jackson Carr out on circuit, had his 3-race winning streak busted when he made the appearance at Rockingham, however, could not get the win. This is just Jackson Carr's second race this season, as he is about to complete his first lap of qualifying here. 7 minutes left to go. Isaac Wilson sets the benchmark at a 22:97. Quickly surpassed by Hayden Lowell, who does a 120.58, so very good out of that WeatherTech car number 71.
Yeah, it's gonna take a minute to get around this race course tonight, but these guys are pretty skilled in this league, so they're gonna have an easy time doing it.
Mike Simon having a little bit of a wiggle down towards the turns 1 and 2 end of the infield. NASCAR 1 and 2 naturally.
So the other part of the track that's going to be Tetris, Frank, is whenever you come off at NASCAR 3 and 4, and then you hit that little chicane right there before you get back onto the quad oval, which is turn 15.
See, right now on board with Mike Simon as he jumps over those sausage curbs on the backstretch chicane and now works his way to where you were just mentioning, that front stretch chicane. See, wiggling. He had a change of camber. Got through it pretty well, I will say, for Mike Simon as he completes his second lap of qualifying. He will go a little bit slower on his second lap, but right now Tristan Bailey, who was the second quickest man in practice, third quickest in qualifying, just needs 4/100ths of a second to get up into that second spot ahead of Tristan Bailey, and he'll get a lot more than that. Pole position 120.11 for Tristan Bailey. And then the fun is spoiled as Charles Etienne Boucher takes the pole by 0.3 of a second. This
For
is
sure.
good.
Oh, you go for it.
This is the guy who is the bet to win here this evening, but we've seen guys who have been the bet to win run into problems, not necessarily of their own doing. Foil the run, defending champion Joshua Grosso finishing his second lap. About to start his third, jumps up into the 5th position. Jackson Carr goes with a 120.07, so a good time there for Jackson Carr. Gets him back up into the 2nd position is Jackson Carr, Hayden Lowell, and Tristan Bailey. As here comes Bailey to complete his second lap, or pardon me, his third lap. Separated by about 4/100ths of a second, so very close between the 13.71 and 19. As Bailey sets a personal best, but unfortunately it's only by a couple of thousandths. And Boucher resets fastest lap at a 1:18.74. 1.3 seconds faster. He did not get a 1:18 in practice. He has been flying here tonight, and we haven't even started yet.
Yeah, and they're going to have some pretty fast laps all night long. Excuse me. They're going to have some pretty fast laps all night long, but, you know, they're going to be there's going to be a lot of slow sections, especially in the infield. I'm typically running that infield section around 2nd or 3rd gear.
A big place to possibly mess up as we see the driver of the 48, Adam Aylshire, right now 9th quickest on the board, just put down a 120.94. We'll get to the reason why he is in the car in just a moment. As Aylshire working on his final qualifying lap. Jeff Weimer out on circuit as well. Weimer so far running in 11th position, 1:21.46. His best time is 29 of the 38 drivers have taken qualifying. Here's Jerry Parker. Should be able to get this lap in. Won't be able to get a second one in, and that wiggle there from car number 34 certainly not going to help. Oh, big slide all the way, and that will pretty much ruin the qualifying effort for Jerry Parker, so he will most likely be starting from the back of the grid. Steven Sear completing his final lap, and he will get a personal best. Unfortunately, will not get a better position out of it. It'll be a 1:23.23. Going to have to put him in 21st position as we see last week's winner, Joey Maines, get out onto the racetrack. Working on his 4th and final lap, just did a personal best, a 1:21.90 last time around. Good for 14th at the moment. Guys taking that wide arch, getting onto the NASCAR oval. And Alan, it may seem like why would you go to the top, but it's a lot faster than trying to hug that bottom getting onto the NASCAR oval.
For sure, for sure.
Lost Cowie Gomez there behind the wall. As Joey Maines, I believe, might be the last driver to get a qualifying time in. If not, it'll be Charles Halterman in car number 50. However, I think he's just spun. He has. Joey Maines gets another personal best, but not good enough, as that will do it for the qualifying session here for tonight's race. Qualifying comes to a close. Charles Etienne Boucher is going to be your pole sitter. Let's take a look at that starting grid here for tonight's race. Charles Etienne Boucher at a 1:18.739. will start on pole with Joshua Grosso a full 1.2 seconds back. Will line up to the outside of row number 1. Jackson Carr and Hayden Lowe will make up row number 2 with Tristan Bailey and Julian Pastor in row 3. Angel Hernandez and Isaac Wilson will sit in row 4. Adam Ailshire and Rosa Laszlo in row 5. Jeff Weimer and Mikhail Hagstrom in row number 6. Row 7 goes to Mike Simon and Joey Maines. Cowie Gomez and Justin Barkley filling in the 22 will sit in row 8. Row 9 goes to Christian Delgado and Jack Yeagerman, with Adrian Arenas and James Vining in row number 10. Steven Sear and John Hopley in row 11. Jared McCauley and Matthias Busquet, please in the chat, somebody help me pronounce that name, in row 12. Larry Fairman and Drew Hullman, row 13. Matt Metler and Mike Iskander, row 14. Charles Halterman, the last of the qualifiers, will start in row 15 alongside Rhea Ferris, Casey Tomlinson, and Bob Wyckoff, Nathan Christensen and Jerry Parker, Michael Gervey and Shane Griffin. Then it'll be Andrew Miller and Chris Van Maastricht, and Robert Rowe will round out the 39 drivers that will be trying to start this race here tonight. Everyone from Rhea Ferris on down, lining up via their iRating. And it's their road iRating here tonight, not their oval iRating that they are going by. Weather
I tell you what. I tell you what, Frank. My road iRacing is garbage, so I would be starting in the back regardless if I was racing. So I'm glad my iRating's not affected because I'm up here with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at the weather conditions here for today's race. We're just shy of 4 p.m. in sim time. Now, the last time we did one of these races close to the day-night cycle, we got very lucky to finish Rockingham on time, but we're also very lucky here with lights here tonight. Wind blowing 3 miles an hour, going northeasterly, so a very mild wind here this evening. It's going to be a 65-degree ambient temperature, but the track is about hot as 92 degrees down on the asphalt here this evening, so that will not help the grip for these drivers, but the engines will certainly be making a heck of a lot of horsepower at just 65-degree ambient temperature.
For sure, Frank. And that starting lineup was sponsored by Ricola.
Yeah. As taking the short pace lap here tonight, drivers lining up on the back straightaway. Typically, you'd be going through the infield here, doing a full lap, lining up with the grid, starting off in the front stretch chicane, but we are doing the short pace lap here this evening as the field gets set to go. Robert Rowe has not made the starting grid, so he will start from the pits as the Porsche pace car makes its way through the back straightaway chicane going into turn number 3 of the NASCAR circuit. And Alan, it's going to be one heck of a race. It's going to be a fast race because we're not going to have any cautions to break anything up. So you're going to have to be on the wheel. You're going to have to be competitive, making as little mistakes as possible because you're not going to have the fallback of the caution to try to bring you back into the fight.
Yeah, you got to be real careful, too, when you come out of that chicane and onto the front stretch. You still got that first corner to get onto the infield to worry about. As we're going to see right here, I'm going to call it right now, Frank. As we get ready to go green, these guys are going to miss that corner.
Here we go, getting set to go green for the first time tonight and the only time tonight. Green flag is in the air. Charles Etienne Boucher off on the jump, and this is happening again. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to do something about this. Hold on, folks. We're gonna take a quick break. I can't believe this is happening again. All right, we'll be back. We're back here on Sim Racing Media, and I can't for the life of me explain to you guys why this continues to happen, and I cannot apologize enough. First 5 laps have gone through. Charles Etienne Boucher, as you see, currently holds an almost 8-second lead over Hayden Lowell. Here is the battle for the second position. Hayden Lowell, Joshua Grosso, Jackson Carr currently running nose to tail here for that second spot. And Alan, you've seen a lot more of the first 5 laps than I have, so I'm sure a lot's been going on.
Oh man, yeah, it's been uneventful so far, so we're good there.
Well,
The beauty of live streaming there, Frank.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I can't explain why this is happening. I've turned as much stuff as I can down. I'm confused. I'm aggravated. But thank you all very much for being patient and understanding, and not throwing a fit, at least yet, as Rosa Laszlo has Julian Pastor all over the back of him. Car number 41, there is Pastor, trying to make a look to that inside of the chicane. Couldn't quite get it there, and now because he had to jump over the sausage curb, couldn't get the job done. Now he's coming under fire from Isaac Wilson.
Yeah, so we got a pretty good battle there with the 48 of Isaac Wilson and Adam Elishire going down the infield section there, and it's a pretty slow section, as it would be one of those deals where you're gonna use every inch of this racetrack, Frank.
Certainly is. Isaac Wilson now starting to fall back off the back end of Martinez. Martinez looking very Pastor, pardon me, looking very strong here in the infield portion, getting back out onto the oval now.
And Frank, the reason why... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, so I was going to say, the only reason they don't run caution laps on the road courses and stuff is because it would be almost impossible to run caution laps whenever they have them.
Yeah, that's, as Rhea Ferris was explaining to me earlier on, the pace car does whip around here at a quite significant pace, so it is a little bit difficult to catch up as far as getting back pacing is concerned, as there's Adam Aylshire getting up into that 8th position ahead of Isaac Wilson. Wilson, though, not done, as he has Jeff Weimer sitting behind him. So Weimer waiting to pounce. Again, up front, not missing much of anything. Charles Boucher up 7.5 seconds, so he has cooled the pace down in that number 3. It's Hayden Lowell, Joshua Grosso, and Jackson Carr continue to battle here for this second position. And it's going to be important for these guys, again, to stay as close as they can to each other, because they're not going to have the benefit of the caution to catch them back up, as now Jackson Carr looking to the inside of NASCAR 3 and 4.
Yeah, we got Jackson Carr there in the number 13. I actually got to drive that car in the Daytona 500 this year. Didn't have the showing that we wanted to, but, you know, if I'm not up here with you, Frank, I'm fortunate enough to be able to get down there and to have you guys let me race with you guys every once in a while.
Absolutely. Gives us great insight, as well as I believe that's Michael Gervey getting out of the way, the number 20. As the field is starting to spread out a little bit, there is Tristan Bailey. Now, Bailey did have a bit of an incident there on the first lap, I believe. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show it to you because we were trying to recover what we can of the stream. As there is Tristan Bailey, currently working himself back into the 10th position. So Bailey, after running into some trouble early, getting himself back into the top 10.
Yeah, Frank, this is a driver's road course, but it's also a road course that you got to have a rhythm on. And one bad sector in this road course can certainly throw your lap off.
Absolutely, as we see Jackson Carr trying to make his way back around. Hayden Lowell for second. And already Carr's getting put a lap down. Nathan Christensen will be the next one to go a lap down. As catching up to the back of Matt Metler, there is, I believe, the 43 of Andrew Miller. Yep, there he is, getting put a lap down. So we're already about halfway through this first stage. We'll go a little bit further back towards turn one. There is Isaac Wilson getting around Rosa Laszlo. So now the 24 can get sprung free. Rhea Ferris allowing that group to go.
Rhea Ferris is trying to stay out of the way, trying to let these cars race it out. And that's pretty respectful, especially on a road course, because you're going to have guys in this league that are strong on road courses, and then you're going to have guys that are not so strong on road courses. I would consider myself as an average road course driver. I'm not going to set the world on fire, and I'm not going to run fast laps, but you don't have to do that to be up near the front. You just got to keep it on the road.
Absolutely, just keep it on the island. That's all you have to do. As there's Tristan Bailey getting around Jeff Weimer on the turn 1 and 2, the NASCAR 1 and 2 section, and immediately right back up to the rear end of Rosa Laszlo as we jump on board here with Tristan Bailey.
And here he comes down. Here he comes down to that last chicane here before we hit the quad oval. And I can guarantee you he's hard on the brake.
He's hard on the brake now for sure as he got loose coming out of that final corner. Loses the spot back to Rosa Laszlo. Also loses out to Jeff Weimer as Weimer got past Laszlo. So Weimer ended up pretty good in that deal.
Yeah, Laszlo or Weimer definitely got the long end of that stick. And Bailey sure did get the back end of that, the short end of the stick, as it were. As you were watching the number 2 discount tires Ford of Jeff Weimer up through the infield section, and now he's getting ready to get on the NASCAR back straightaway. Now he's going to get up to about 4th or 5th gear, and then he's got to downshift all the way to at least 3rd gear to make that bus stop in the middle of the back stretch.
Here, let's take a ride on board here with Jeff Weimer. We'll take a lap around this circuit once he gets free and clear and back around. As you see Elshire getting around, I believe Matt Metler putting him a lap down. Not missing anything up front. Top 3 are still in the same order. It's Lowell, Carr, and Grosso. As somebody was off, I believe that was Metler. That was off there in turn 1. Let's take a ride on board here. Take a look at that dashboard for Jeff Weimer in the bottom right-hand corner. Great way to see all the elevation change as well around this circuit.
There's a lot of blind corners, like as we come into this little backstretch area right here. This is where you're going to get up to speed, probably about 4th gear, and then you're going to want to hit 3rd. And then you're going to want to downshift 2 more times.
Also going to want to try to avoid that number 7 of Casey Tomlinson, as Jeff Weimer does. Back onto the NASCAR oval. Right up against that wall, then back down to the line. 5th gear, and then pretty much right when you come off the banking, out of the corner, you're right back on the brakes. For the chicane, and then out onto NASCAR 3 and 4. That there is a lap.
Yeah, and then right when he comes through this chicane, he's going to get down at least second gear, and then right back up there.
So there was our onboard shot of the day. Thank you, Jeff Weimer. So we'll jump back up to this battle for second position here between Jackson Carr, Joshua Grosso, and Angel Hernandez now, as Hernandez getting past Hayden Lowell. And I believe, I'm going to try to see it here.
Looks like we got a car stop on the back straightaway.
I believe that's Michael Iskander that went off. We'll take a look here. This is the pass for second as Jackson Carr gets past Hayden Lowell. Lowell takes a jump over the sausage curbs, and that's how he goes from second all the way down to fifth. As Hernandez also gets through. Angel Hernandez in that Sirius XM number 45. This should be one of Tyler Reddick's cars this season, which will begin a day earlier than what we thought. It is planning on raining here in San Diego, well, in California, Southern California, on Sunday. So what NASCAR has decided to do, instead of running the heat races tonight and the big race tomorrow, as Jackson Carr goes way wide, he'll go to the back of the line. Instead of running the heat races tonight and the clash tomorrow, they're going to do it all tonight now. And also,
that's gonna be a barn burner. I hate to cut you off there. That's gonna be a barn burner there.
Certainly is. So get a fuller night of racing than what you were expecting, as Joshua Grosso now tries to work his way past Bob Wyckoff, who very, very gentlemanly slides off to the right.
I do want to mention one other thing to you, Frank, as long as we're promoting real world racing. If NASCAR on the West Coast isn't your flavor, on floor racing tonight, you got the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series at Alltech.
Oh, there you go.
Ricky Thornton Jr. picked up the win last night.
Also, well, spoiler alert, thank you. We've also got Supercross at Detroit this evening as well. So there's a lot to choose from if you're a racing fan tonight. Is right now the two 2311 cars are trying to make some inroads. Angel Hernandez is up 4 spots from where he started. Joshua Grosso is up into second. He started there, getting back into spot in that Columbia Toyota Camry. Charles Etienne Boucher, there he is. That's the 7 of Casey Tomlinson that was stopped on the straightaway. And Tomlinson got run over, I believe it was by Jerry Parker in the 34. Yep, there you see the nose damage on Jerry Parker.
And I would believe that his fun meter is going to be pegged out for the night.
Yeah, I would say so. Here's what happened initially with Casey Tomlinson. Oh, this is a couple laps ago, actually, I think here. This is what initially happened with Tomlinson. Coming through NASCAR 3 and 4. And looked like he just went to brake for the chicane, and around it went.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Tomlinson there in a number 7 car. As he's had some pretty good runs here of late.
This is on board with Tomlinson. Oh, he downshifted. He pegged it. I have a feeling with the way he was downshifting there, I bet you he thought he was in 5th when he started downshifting, and then by the time it got to 1st, it just went around on him. Lord knows I've made that mistake several times. If you're not paying attention, you think you're in the right gear, and you're not.
Guilty.
Here's Charles Etienne Boucher looking to put another lap on Matt Mettler. Puts another coat of paint onto the heartburn turn wall. 12th start for Mr. Mettler, running in car number 60 here this season. It's in the number 51, if I remember correctly, last year.
And I think we've all been guilty of not being in the right gear and downshifting.
Certainly. Here's a intriguing sight to behold. This is Adam Aylshire coming down pit road, getting ready to take a pit stop here. This would be a scheduled stop here for Aylshire, and it comes about 5 laps before the end of the stage. Tristan Bailey in the 19 is also in, and here is a big wad of traffic in front. Oh boy. Big wad of traffic in front of that battle for second spot. Lap cars trying to evade, give the leaders some room to run, and unfortunately for Joshua Grosso, he guessed wrong, ends up losing a spot. Jaden Lowell throwing it to the inside of the 17 of Fairman. As now Jackson Carr is almost completely boxed in. Angel Hernandez, Joshua Grosso, Jackson Carr, Hayden Lowell in this little battle as Lowell gets a little wide. Lincoln, Nebraska native making his series debut here tonight. Car number 71.
That's a good looking WeatherTech car.
Yeah, absolutely. Joshua Grosso may have gotten a little bit too wide coming back onto the NASCAR oval. Still just barely able to keep it in front of Jackson Carr. As they head through the backstretch chicane. This is the closest battle on track for position. And it is for third. Charles Etienne Boucher, there he is. Your race leader, currently 14 seconds ahead. He's gotten close this season on several different occasions. Taking a look back to how dominant he was at Daytona. Earlier on this season, unfortunately, got caught up in an incident. Ended up getting put back a little bit on that final lap. Finished in 7th that day. And just last week at the iRacing Superspeedway came home in the 4th position, about 100th of a second or so off of the podium.
Yeah, look how smooth he is riding around this road course. It's like he's on a Sunday drive.
17 years old and a 14.5 second lead for car number 3. Made his season debut back at Daytona, or series debut, I should say, back at Daytona. And he is now 1 lap away from taking the first stage here in this race tonight. Angel Hernandez currently running in the 2nd position. Thanks to that little traffic log jam, got around Joshua Grosso and has now put a little bit of a gap between himself and his teammate in the 23. 1.5 seconds between those two. Grosso and Carr running nose to tail. This is for the 3rd position. And Hayden Lowell has had a couple of off-track excursions here over the last lap or so. Finds himself now 3 seconds behind the 23 and the 13. There is Isaac Wilson, the Hendrick Motorsports entry, car number 24. Working his way up through the field, up to 6th position now. Just a small 27.5 seconds off of Jaden Lowell and 47 seconds up to the lead as we go through the final chicane. Charles Etienne Boucher will win stage number 1 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as he gets set to put Adrian Arenas a lap down. The top 12 are the only cars on the lead lap as we complete stage number 1. Next stage break will be at lap 40. We'll bring it to you on the other side of this break. Back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we are in the middle of the pit cycle at the end of stage 1. Now remember how I said at the top of the broadcast that just because you're favored to win doesn't mean you're not going to make a mistake that could possibly take it away from you? Well, that's exactly what happened with the most dominant driver of the day so far, Charles Etienne Boucher, too fast entering pit road. He loses his lead and is now 32 seconds adrift of Angel Hernandez, who now sits in the top spot. So there is Boucher coming back onto the NASCAR oval. There is Angel Hernandez about to begin lap number 23. Michael Hagstrom, John Hopley on pit road. The two Ware cars. And we saw during the break an incident between Ria Ferris and Joshua Grosso, causing Grosso a little bit of grief. Now Grosso coming back down pit road for the second time after this little incident, a spin coming out of the pit lane into turns 3 and 4 and hard into the wall with both the left rear and left front. So that number 23 now damaged up and needing some repairs.
Yeah. Issues on pit road can definitely cost you here, but if we see what we've seen out of Boucher the first half of this run, we're in for an absolute treat on the back end of this race.
It could be a very, very interesting recovery run for Charles-Etienne Boucher. Really quick, let's throw up the track map here, show you that cars are well and truly all over the place here tonight. Pick out your favorite number, pick out your favorite driver, and that is where they currently run. There is Angel Hernandez about to cross the start-finish line. He's down at the very bottom of the picture. Cars that are kind of dulled out a little bit are the ones that are on pit road, such as the 23, the 15, the 17 there as well. Let's give you a good idea as to how widely spread that this racetrack is and this race is. And to your point, Charles-Etienne Boucher last time around put his fastest lap of the race in a 1:19.36, best of anybody. So he is flying here at the moment in car number 3, trying to recover for lost time.
Yeah, I mean, Frank, what do you do when you start losing time on pit road? Well, you go out and set the fastest lap of the race.
Jeebus. Hey, what do you do if you're the leader when a lap car starts sliding in the chicane in front of you? You hold on for dear life, and that's exactly what Angel Hernandez had to do as Jack Yeagerman went sliding. There's Jarrett McCauley on pit road right now. He is currently in 8th position, or was in 8th position, as Yeagerman now passes him by. That leaves Jeff Weimer as the last car on the lead lap. Alan, we're not even halfway through this race. We have 7 cars left on the lead lap.
Yeah, we kind of knew this coming into it without having any caution flag. And this is a testament to how spread out this field got in a short amount of time, as they were all just trying to get away from each other so that they wouldn't run into each other. As we're looking at Rosa Lasso there coming into the bus stop, and he's going to miss it.
It misses the bus stop, trying to get around a slow car. I believe that was the 17 of Larry Fairman. So Laszlo, there's a lot of damage on that right front. I wonder if it broke it. As he comes around camera side. Wheel looks...
He's got some smoke.
Yeah, he's pitting. So Rosa Laszlo down pit road here, so make it 6 cars now to be on the lead lap, as there is Jeff Weimer. Isaac Wilson, another on the lead lap. We have no team has more than 1 car on the lead lap. Angel Hernandez from 2111, Jackson Carr from Colleague, Hayden Lowell, here he is for Spire, car number 71. RCR's Boucher, number 3. Hendrick Wilson, Penske, Weimer. And with that, there are also a number of retirements in this race. Robert Rowe did not start this race. Justin Barkley, Joey Maines, and Mike Simon, I have a feeling, did not make it through the first lap as Lowell gets past Ria Ferris. So they are done. Drew Holman done after 4 laps. Julian Pastor done after 7. Charles Halterman in the number 50, he is done after 14 laps. Tristan Bailey and Adam Aylshire both done after 15 laps. So we got, what is that? We got maybe 29 or so cars on circuit right now, as there we see Lowell getting past the 11 of Griffin.
And then we only got about 8 lead lap cars at that, so.
Yep.
So we got probably a little over 25 lap cars on the racetrack. And that's if my math is mathing.
Charles Etienne Boucher last time around a 1:19.18 fastest lap of the day. Jackson Carr just put down his fastest lap of the race last time around. He was the third car now to get into the 1:19 bracket. It will not be a 1:19 this time by, as he gets caught behind Chris Van Maastricht and Jack Yeagerman.
Yes, we're looking at Jackson Carr. He's coming down out of turn 2 from the NASCAR side, getting ready to hit that bus stop. And some people will figure this bus stop out pretty easily, and some other guys will struggle with it. But Frank, a lot of these guys they have a lot of practice on this road course, as they put up the surfer probably about an hour before the race started.
Yeah, absolutely. And every bit of practice that you can get, especially around a track like this and cars like these, you certainly take it, as Carr, at the moment, for the most part, has been running faster laps than our race leaders. We'll take a look at Angel Hernandez. There's the track map that we wanted. Carr, last time around, lost a second and a half to Angel Hernandez, but that was what we saw before, with him getting caught behind the 77 and the 38. As Hernandez able, for the most part, to get through scot-free. Adrian Arenas coming down pit road. A lot of right side damage on the IHOP number 14 Ford Mustang. Adrian Arenas making just his 6th start here with the series. As sub-driver, Matthias Biscay trying to hold off Jared McCauley. This is for the 8th spot. Biscay filling in for Franz Bretschneider, who is sick with the flu. Normally drives that number 8 car, and now getting past is Biscay. He's not going to let it go, though, but he takes a big jump over the curbs, somehow keeps it straight. That's the ambition of a 15-year-old, trying to still make that pass work. Certainly made it entertaining, though.
You know, I bet he was talking to Brochure, and he said, "Here, hold my apple juice."
It's a very young team that they brought out today. Boucher 13, Biscay 15. And Franz, I know you're watching in the chat. I don't want to say your age, partly because I know it's older, and also partly because I don't remember it.
Can't be older than me.
There is Charles Etienne Boucher. 4th place. He's closed the gap significantly. It was about a 35-second gap or so when last we saw. It's now down to 26 seconds between himself and Angel Hernandez for the race lead. There's Jackson Carr getting caught up behind Larry Fairman and Jerry Parker.
Yeah, we're watching Jackson Carr. He's on the inside of the 34 car, and that is a battle for well, I don't think that's really a battle.
It's a battle for position between the 17 and the 34. These two are going for the 12th position. Parker has it. Fairman wants it back. 77 of Jagerman behind is a lap ahead of these two. As it looks as though Jerry Parker has won the battle.
Jerry Parker won the battle, but nonetheless, he's still out down. So when you're a lot down, you're still, as we had looked like we had some brakes locked up there.
2 laps down for Jerry Parker and Larry Fairman, and they're battling just outside the top 10 as there goes Fairman sliding out of the backstretch chicane. He'll lose a spot now to James Vining in the 42. So Fairman now down to 14th. As Hayden Lowell goes past. Haven't spoken too much about James Vining. There he is in that Gear Wrenches number 42 machine in a substitute role today, making just his 3rd start in the series.
We got a car now.
Yeah, has to avoid Casey Tomlinson, who has had a rough day, to say the very least, has Casey Tomlinson. Oh, watch out. Oh. That was the 6th. That was the 16 of Christian Delgado.
Breaking news from the YouTube chat.
Okay.
Our friend is in his late 40s.
Busk. Okay, thank you. Busk. Thank you, Mr. Brett Schneider. Oh!
Ooh, you got doubled up.
Yeah, that was the 7 and the 15. The 7 tried to roll and get righted again, and the 15 was unfortunately in his way. Here it is.
There's nowhere to go.
No, it's such a tight part of the racetrack. Now, we know the 7 is sitting there. He thinks he's got a gap, and no, he doesn't. He had a gap behind the 15 and misjudged the timing of the roll.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not a self-quitting racetrack like some other mile and a half that we go to.
Absolutely. Is battle for 3rd here between Hayden Lowell and Charles-Etienne Boucher. Boucher has made up quite a bit of time after getting caught speeding on pit road at the end of the 1st stage. And now has been setting flyer after flyer after flyer after flyer. And I can tell you from experience, not that I'm as good around this racetrack as Boucher, but when you get into that open lobby and you're out in front, you're one of the faster cars in the session, you get caught behind a slower car, and boy, can it get frustrating, and it can feel like you're going in slow motion. I have a feeling that is what Boucher is having to deal with right now.
For sure, Frank. Most of the times, I am the slow car that you're getting frustrated with. But nonetheless, I'm sure Bert Schneider would love to trade illnesses with me tonight.
There's Boucher. Now they're coming up to lap Bob Wyckoff here. That's another thing you always seem to catch at Boucher. He's getting caught here. You always seem to catch that car at the worst possible time or at the last possible second where you can make a move and you're just not in position. As boy, Boucher might use the bumper here. Can't quite get a move there as we ride on board with Hayden Lowell.
So what Boucher's got to do is he's got to outbrake Lowell going into that bus stop in the middle of the corner if he can get back to his bumper and in striking distance.
See what he could do here. Makes the big swing to the inside. Unfortunately, he's not going to get there. Remember how I said Boucher was down to 26 seconds behind Angel Hernandez? It's gone up to 28, being stuck behind Hayden Lowell. And this is for 3rd. Oh, boy.
Oh,
It's getting close.
I don't speak French, but I'm sure there's some four-letter adjectives coming out of his headset right now.
Oh, frustration. Oh, Lowell gets caught. I'm not sure if Lowell lost it or if he got hit. But either way, Hayden Lowell in the wall going into turn number 2. Charles Etienne Boucher is finally free. And the 3 is back up into third.
That's a tough break for Hayden Lowell, but I mean, in all fairness, he was kind of holding up Boucher there. As we're going to take a look at this one.
No contact.
He got doored. It looked like he got doored.
I'm not seeing any contacts. I think he just got loose trying to gas it back up. See it from a different angle here. Yeah, no, he lost it trying to gas it up. There was no contact at all between the 3 and the 71. Yeah, you could have fit a car between those two. So now, back on the comeback train is Charles Etienne Boucher. It has gotten back on the tracks. Jackson Carr continues to get caught up in traffic. As we have a car around here, that is Jerry Parker down into the heartburn turn wall.
There's a lot of guys that have heartburn right now, and there's going to be quite a few more guys that will be ready to put this week behind them and head to California.
Absolutely. Let's take a look here. Yep, just locked it up. Apt that he hit the turn part of heartburn turn, because that's not what he did. Jack Yeagerman in a very comfortable spot right now. He's currently sitting in 7th. Not on the lead lap. Not that often you say that about 7th place. Just past halfway in a race, but yet here we are. Yeagerman right now, 23 seconds adrift of Jeff Weimer in front of him. And 28 seconds ahead of Jared McCauley. So he is in a very nice little pocket right now, as I believe we've got more trouble for Hayden Lowell. See what happened here. This is him trying to recover some time heading into the infield chicane. Comes down off the curb awkwardly, and around backwards he goes.
Yeah, it's just so hard to make up time here once you get behind. And right now, granted he's running 4th, but he's just buried. He keeps burying himself and burying himself, and now he's in a hole that he's probably not going to be able to get out of.
He's 13 seconds behind Boucher, but he's 22 seconds ahead of Isaac Wilson. Here is Wilson, winner of the first stage back at iRacing Superspeedway last week. So Isaac Wilson following that performance up with a 5th place run right at the moment. And for Wilson, he is the last car on the lead lap, as Jeff Weimer has now succumbed to the pace of the race leaders. Doesn't look like there's more than a dent on that number 2, though, and I'll take that as a win. Highest running Ford of the race as well, and I mentioned this during a broadcast at some point over the last couple of weeks. If I'm at a racetrack where I know I can't win, I would at least like to be the highest finishing car for the make that I'm running. So right now, Jeff Weimer is the highest running Ford, and that, for me personally, I would call that a win.
I would too, but I would also hope that the lead lap cars don't catch me in a bad spot on the racetrack. So if you're gonna put me a lap down, I'd rather you catch me in the NASCAR parts of the racetrack and not the infield part.
Certainly is Angel Hernandez in the infield portion. As we had mentioned before, let's ride on board just above the splitter here with Angel Hernandez down on the racetrack. Again, you can see these elevation changes. You can see the curbs, especially the sausage curbs as they come up here for this next chicane. These curbs are no joke around here. They give you quite a nice little jolt if you go over them.
Yeah, imagine what that does when you're running maybe like a higher force feedback on your wheel. I mean, it'll almost jerk the wheel right out of your hands.
Car bouncing away as it goes over those curbs into fifth gear just before he has to back it right back down again. And he's got one more lap to go before Angel Hernandez can call himself a stage winner here tonight. There's Jackson Carr, 15.7 seconds behind, having to get through Bob Wyckoff here momentarily. There's Wyckoff in the 47. Gets on through. There is Hayden Lowell, 45 seconds behind, as Charles Etienne Boucher has already made his pit stop. So Boucher, knowing that Angel Hernandez was not going to come in, is now going to try to do 30 laps on this set of tires and fuel and try to win the race that way.
I think it could be done. If I'm a betting man, I'm putting all my money on this 3 car right now, because he's definitely sliding that car around. I bet he's having a lot of fun right now.
Now, that's not entirely impossible. It's going to be more on the fuel, because Angel Hernandez and Jackson Carr did not take tires under the first pit stop. Angel Hernandez coming across the line now. He has won stage number 2. And we'll see what he does in just a moment as far as pit stops are concerned. But Charles Etienne Boucher wins stage 1. Angel Hernandez wins stage 2. We'll take you all the way to the finish when we return. Back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as we run the Roval, here comes the race leader, Angel Hernandez, right on cue. Thanks for waiting for us to come back from break. As Hernandez finally comes down pit road, he will have about 24 laps to do to the finish here. Jackson Carr running in second. He is now coming in, answering Hernandez. We'll see what Hayden Lowell does. He's still a full racetrack away, effectively. Jeff Weimer comes down pit road. A lot of guys coming down now. It'll be all throughout the field. Hernandez on and off. No tires again for Angel Hernandez. And Alan, that's exactly what we were talking about a moment ago off air. Tires here just, they don't seem to wear.
No, and like I pointed out to you during the commercial break too, is it seems like even if you're on the mile and a half oval, take the road course out of the equation, put us on the oval, and we're still not gonna have tire wear. As we're watching Boucher come out of the chicane there and come down the heartbreak turn, and then to the infield. But to your point, tire wear has not been a factor, but so it's all been gas and go. But they still got that. They still got those sets of tires in the pits in case they need them.
Now, Angel Hernandez is on the same set of tires that he started the race on. Here he is going into NASCAR 3. Here is Boucher, who has taken tires on both of his pit stops. He's currently 33 seconds behind. So right now, Angel Hernandez needs those tires to last him another 23 laps at this point if he wants to collect his first win of the season. Here is Jackson Carr running in second. Isaac Wilson has not yet pit in the 24. He last came down on lap 21. So not quite as far as Boucher needs to go, but farther than Hernandez and Jackson have been able to do. Hayden Lowell has come in. However, it does not appear as though he's on circuit at the moment in car number 71, and that will promote his Spire Racing teammate, Jack Yeagerman, up into the 5th position, and then there were only 4 on the lead lap.
Yeah, right now, ever since the jump of the green flag, a lot of these guys went straight into survivor mode, as you would suspect here on a road course. But some of these drivers that we're not seeing run so well, they're gonna probably pick, this is the track that they want to get off of already. They're probably over it, really. And yeah. So
this was a bogey track, I know, for a lot of these drivers. Try to get the best finish you could possibly muster out of this race and then see what you could do from there. There is the 2 of Jeff Weimer has gone around. This is going back onto the NASCAR oval. And this is a very easy place to do what I think he did. Comes down. Not racing anyone. There's no one around him for position. And then, hit that inside wall hard. That's not what I thought he did.
I think what you're thinking happened is what happens to everybody that runs road courses, especially like here in Daytona, is that when you come back onto the NASCAR portion of the racetrack, your car gets really light.
Yep. Looky here, who is down pit road. Charles Etienne Boucher is going to come down a top off of fuel. Down and away he goes. 6 seconds, 30 laps was too far to ask of that fuel tank. So Boucher has now put himself a further about 20 seconds adrift of Angel Hernandez. He is now 54 seconds behind the race lead. That pit road speeding penalty at the end of the first stage, Alan, is going to loom very large.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was just too much to recover from. But nonetheless, if you, with the attrition that we've seen here today, to be third place and only 20 seconds back, that's impressive, especially for this young 17-year-old Canadian who's he was essentially filling in for the primary driver who's
Oh, no, he is the primary driver here in the
the
three.
primary driver.
Yes.
I stay corrected. My math isn't mathing.
Speaking of the test of attrition, let's just go through the drivers who are no longer participating in this race, shall we? Robert Rowe did not start. Mike Simon, Joey Maines, Justin Barkley did not make it through the first lap. Drew Hullman done on lap 4. Julian Pastor on lap 7. Mike Iskander has been on pit road for 45 minutes now. He is in 33rd position, done after 12 laps. Charles Halterman has been on pit road for a half hour. He is on lap 14 at the moment. Adam Ailshire and Tristan Bailey done after 15. Shane Griffin done after 18. Casey Tomlinson, who we've seen puttering around here all night long, has been on pit road for the last 5 minutes. He is on lap 21. Cowie Gomez done after 21. Joshua Grosso done after 22. Michael Hagstrom done after 26. Michael Gervey's been on pit road for 20 minutes on lap 28. Nathan Christensen has been on pit road for 18 minutes on lap 32. James Vining done after 33 laps. And from what we can see, Hayden Lowell done after 42. Probably would have been shorter to say who was still racing, but still, that is the attrition that you were just talking about there, Alan.
Yeah, as we see Bashir trying to make up spots. They're trying to make up time, and he's, running P3 right now to Angel Hernandez. As we're looking at Isaac Wilson there in the 24 car coming through the bus stop, and like I said, a lot of these guys, since they're dropping a green flag, they've been in survivor mode the whole time, and just trying to make it to the end, just avoid all the issues, and just kind of just drive the racetrack, drive the race car, and let's bring it home in one piece and get out of here and head to California.
Looking at Isaac Wilson, because he has now gone a lap down, so the P4 driver is one lap down, and so far, and right now, I should say, the podium positions are the only three that are on the lead lap as Bob Wyckoff takes a detour. There he is, car number 47, that Kroger Reese's Chevrolet, or allegedly a Chevrolet, with the front missing.
Yeah, it's a tough break. I guess you want to turn that car into a Reese's Fast Break Chevrolet instead of a Reese's and Kroger Chevrolet. But nonetheless, he's another one of those guys. He's 19th position. He's just out there making laps and getting points.
Right now, he is on the same lap as John Hopley. Here is the 51 of Hopley, so that would be a battle for 18th between those two. But it appears as though Wyckoff is going to come into the pits. Yes, he will. There is Matt Metler coming out of pit road, car number 60, in a long line of Fords, by the way. 10th all the way down to 15th, all Fords. And it's going to, and one is going to get added here because Larry Fairman is going to come down pit road. So 7 straight Fords as they run.
And I would suspect this would be the last pit stop of the night.
For Larry Fairman, I would say so. This is going to be his 3rd time on pit road here today. Casey Tomlinson is back out on circuit. I want to talk about the Perseverance Award of the night. I would have to say that goes to Casey Tomlinson. He currently sits 26 laps down, has been involved in incident after incident after incident. One driver who has not had a fun night here tonight in that Celsius number 7, but he is still trucking. He is still on circuit and can still gain a couple of spots. He's got about 4 more laps before he catches and passes Michael Hagstrom. Another lap before he gets past Michael Gervey, and that's all he has to do is just continue to log laps, and he will gain positions.
Yeah, he's doing his best to even stay up to speed as cars are whipping right by him, and he's trying not to get caught in those bad areas. As I alluded to earlier, as he heads towards the NASCAR turn 2 to get back on the NASCAR oval, and he's just staying out of the way and just, you know what, guys, just go by me. I just want to survive here tonight.
Yeah, I've had about all I can stands. I can't stands no more. As here is Chris Van Maastricht. Now, we haven't spoken much about Chris Van Maastricht here this evening. We've really only seen him as he's getting lapped, but he is putting together a solid night. Another one of those stay on track and you'll do fine drivers. Currently running in 14th. He is up 24 positions from where he started back in his car number 38th. So Chris Van Maastricht is putting together quite a nice night and a very solid finish, and might get a couple more spots because of 2 incidents that we have neglected to show you, and here is why. Jeff Weimer, this was a couple of laps ago, coming out of NASCAR 4, up to the back end of Jerry Parker, loses it, nose first into the outside wall. Weimer is still on pit road. And then a couple laps later, Jared McCauley. This is the incident that ends his night, as McCauley has already broken that left front suspension. No turn, no drive in the car. His day done. See if we can pull back a little bit further and see what happened to McCauley to put his car in that predicament. Here we go, out of turn 2, and oof, hard into that Bank of America tire bundle.
Yeah, I don't think someone told him that it wasn't the Baja 164 at 100. We're still at Charlotte, but we're not in Baja, California, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was that would have been right over where the gantry would be. Here's second place finisher last week, Christian Delgado, coming back on track. Also seeing the 8 of where the heck is he? There he is, Matthias Busk. Down to 17th after his 10 minutes of repair on that number 8 machine. Christian Delgado putting together a solid race, 3 laps down, but running in 6th. So a solid day for him. He's got 36 seconds to Andrew Miller, who has had a very quiet day in his own right in that number 43 Advent Health Toyota. Currently running in 7th. Don't have to be loud. Don't have to be making noise. Just put together a solid race.
I can tell you right now. If you're gonna have the flu, this would be the one. This would be the race to have the flu in.
Yeah. Fortunately for Franz Brettschneider, has been very nice in the chat. Thank you very much.
Because I mean, I couldn't imagine making laps around here with the flu, with all the focus you gotta have to even be able to run this race.
Certainly. 1400 HP NextGen in the chat. Yes, if you're joining us maybe a little bit late as we see the 43 of Miller almost slide through the backstretch chicane. We had mentioned it right at the top of the broadcast that there's a lot of rain expected in the Southern California area starting tomorrow. It's supposed to last all week. The NASCAR schedule for this weekend was supposed to be that the Heat races were supposed to be tonight, followed by the NASCAR Mexico Series race. Then the Clash at the Coliseum tomorrow. However, because of the rain, NASCAR has bumped the whole event to today, so it'll be the Heats and the Clash today, as well as the NASCAR Mexico race, which will take place now after the Clash. So you have a full night of racing, as mentioned earlier, Supercross in Detroit tonight. And you said there was, I don't think you said it was the World of Outlaws on MAV TV tonight. But,
nope. It's the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series.
There it is.
At Alltech.
On MAV TV tonight. So a lot of racing.
Slow racing on MAV TV.
I love watching MAV TV, especially late at night. For those of you who don't know, I haven't said it much, but I do work for a radio station where I am a board op for the San Diego Padres. I'm the guy who makes sure the ball game gets on the air. And it's very nice to have the game on one TV and then MAV TV on the other, just watching racing all night, especially on a Tuesday or a Wednesday when there's nothing else to watch. Great little channel, that.
Absolutely. As they are about 5 or 6 races into their season, and so far it's been Ricky Thornton and Hudson O'Neal winning all over Florida right now. Is they're I believe their next set of races as East Bay for the Winter Nationals before they head to Volusia and run with the Outlaws.
There's a couple of local racetracks, I'm sure, starting to open up as well as we get into the second month of 2024. Battle on track right here. This is inside the top 10. Jerry Parker and Larry Fairman. This is the closest battle on circuit, and it's for 8th. Angel Hernandez, there he is. Currently with the race lead, 19 seconds clear of Jackson Carr, who is 34 seconds clear of Charles Etienne Boucher, who's getting past Steven Sear in the number 5. Isaac Wilson is 53 seconds adrift of Charles Etienne Boucher and is going down a little bit, being stuck behind the 51 and the 77. Now the 77 of Jack Yeagerman, he may be a lap down to the 24. However, he is only one position behind. He is currently in the 5th spot. So fourth passes 5th on circuit. No position changing hands. There is Christian Delgado. He is a lap behind both the 24 and the 77. Just ahead of them on the road, though. So he is in 6th. Andrew Miller, 41 seconds adrift of Christian Delgado. And then 36 seconds behind. 14 and 7. I saw Arenas lock up going into turn 1 and knew exactly where he was going to end up. And unfortunately for Casey Tomlinson, who's just been trying to plug away laps, it's right into his door.
That's a tough break for Casey Tomlinson, as he's just trying to, like you said, get out there and log some laps, get all the points he can. Because every point matters right now in this series, as we're watching Adrian Arenas come onto the NASCAR Cup Series track there, and I believe that's turn 2, and head down the back straightaway.
Here's what happened with Casey Tomlinson. He's pulling over, allowing these guys behind to race, and then just as he gets back on to the racetrack, here's Arenas. This is just behind Larry Fairman. Takes a big dive and not quite. And that was right in front of second place Jackson Carr as well, we just saw go by.
Yeah, Arenas just had a bad angle coming down to turn number 1, and I don't think that he thought that Tomlinson was going to be there when he got to him.
He's trying to get past Larry Fairman. Now, that would not have been for position. Fairman's about 2 laps ahead of Arenas. But still, you don't want anyone holding you up, no matter how many laps they are faster than you. Charles-Etienne Boucher, by the way, has not given up on this race. Last time around, 1:18.90. So he is putting down qualifying laps here at the moment. Is Charles-Etienne Boucher, currently sitting in the 3rd spot. And it looks as though that will be where he will be.
Yeah, he just needs Jackson Carr and Angel Hernandez to make a mistake or miss a corner or something, so that way he can make up some time.
Mentioning the charge of positions for Casey Tomlinson, he is now 3 spots away from passing Nathan Christensen to get himself into 23rd. 5 laps away from getting past James Vining into 22nd. And there are not enough laps for him to catch up to Jaden Lowell. So if he wants to, he only needs to run about 5 of these 9 laps. And then he can call it a day, because that's as high as he'll be able to get.
Yeah, to your point, as we're watching Angel Hernandez, who's just absolutely just dominated this race ever since the drop of the green flag. And
oh, he's pitting.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was the breaking news in the garage area. Angel Hernandez is pitting.
Yeah, that was not something I was expecting to see. Now, Hernandez is on the same set of tires that he started the race on, and if that is the case, if those have given up, he might be in a little bit of trouble here. As far as the race lead is concerned, does the car go up? No, it does not, at least from what I see. No, it's a splash and dash. So Angel Hernandez getting enough fuel to finish the race. That gives the lead of the race now to Jackson Carr, who just goes flashing by him on pit exit. We got a race for the lead here.
It's about to get good here, Frank. It's about to get real good.
And Charles-Etienne Boucher is back in. Oh, he's got some nose damage. Yeah, he had an issue. What happened to Boucher?
Can we go watch it?
Oh, coming out of the chicane, the 50, thought he was clear, and he wasn't.
Ooh.
This is the 50 of Charles Halterman. Came right across the nose of the 3.
I 100% felt like that Charles-Etienne Boucher had the car to beat tonight.
Absolutely did, and unfortunately, as I mentioned before, that speeding on pit road incident after the completion of stage 1 is going to loom very, very large over that number 3. He'll fall from 3rd position, a sure 3rd position, to just about the bottom of the top 20 with how many laps there are.
Nonetheless, we finally got a battle of any sorts on the racetrack right now for any kind of position. And so we got Jackson Carr driving a car for all it's worth to stay ahead of Angel Hernandez.
Hernandez falling back to that 2nd position after pitting for a splash and go. So Jackson Carr looking for career win number 8 here in the iSNF Cup Series. Angel Hernandez looking for career win number 6. And Jackson Carr, by the way, becomes just the 3rd different driver tonight to lead a lap. It's been all Boucher or Hernandez.
all he's got to do is put together is be as smooth as possible, because the eyeball test shows that he's actually pulling away from Angel Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez, his best lap is 2/100ths of a second faster than Jackson Carr's best lap. Jackson Carr just did his personal best that time by a 1:19.42. Hernandez's best, a 1:19.40.
Yeah, Angel Hernandez is in hot pursuit of Jackson Carr right now, coming back onto NASCAR Turn 1 and heading down to NASCAR Turn 2, as he's going to easily go by Matt Medler there in the number 60 car onto the back straightaway. It's very imperative that these guys do not make a mistake right now, because it could be costly.
Matt Medler right now is about a half a lap shy of a top 10 finish. His teammate, here he is, Rosa Laszlo, currently has that 10th position. 5 laps down is Laszlo. But if he's not careful, as Jackson Carr comes into the pits.
Frank, I would suspect that this would be a gas and go.
Yep, me too. So the fuel tank's not big enough for Angel Hernandez nor Jackson Carr. And that race that we had for the lead, undone by the fuel tank.
You'll have that on them big jobs, buddy.
There is Isaac Wilson, by the way. He is a lap down in third. So Jackson, oh, watch out. Might be a little bit further back. Contact between the second and third place cars. And Wilson ends up the worse for it. Carr trying to gain some time back. Isaac Wilson, unfortunately, in the way. Fortunately for him, really no harm, no foul. He's a full lap behind Jackson Carr and a minute 30 ahead of Jack Yeagerman, who sits in fourth. As Angel Hernandez crosses the line, 4 laps to go, there is your race leader.
And I would suspect that, I think if you go back and see that Jackson Carr and Isaac Wilson incident, I think Jackson Carr just got into the corner a little too hot, and Isaac Wilson was there.
Let's see it here. Here they come into the corner. Wilson, yeah, he certainly got in hot. And, yeah, Wilson got in hot. He was offline, and Jackson Carr filled the hole. So it'll be Angel Hernandez 20 seconds ahead of Jackson Carr. There's Isaac Wilson getting onto the NASCAR oval. Jack Yeagerman and Christian Delgado, your top 5 as they sit. Andrew Miller. Oh, Andrew Miller might be seeing a spot. As Delgado really shaking that car, trying to see if he did any damage to it. Looks to be okay.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, no. Feels okay to him. It must. Oh, he might have done some now.
That might be some wheel damage.
It might be on the left front. Andrew Miller is a minute behind, by the way, and this is why he's just run off. I believe that's turn 7. He just ran off at. Did the same exact thing that Isaac Wilson did, just a little bit more pronounced. There's Larry Fairman. Larry Fairman and Jerry Parker have been racing all race long. Parker's had a couple of off-track moments that have allowed Fairman to go back through. As there's Jeff Weimer going through. Weimer's had a big moment earlier on back at turn 8, just getting onto the NASCAR oval. He ran into that end wall right here on driver's left. This white wall right here where the light stanchion is. Put himself quite a ways back. And is just now past Charles-Etienne Boucher for the 13th spot. Isaac Wilson coming in to top off and go.
Yeah, I would imagine after this one there's going to be some talks happening in the proverbial NASCAR trailer. And I'm using air quotes over here.
Sure. Got, 21 or so cars left running on circuit. Coming
and only two on the lead lap.
Yep. Angel Hernandez has had a couple strokes of bad luck over these last couple of years. Unfortunately, a prior commitment knocked him out of the championship 4, had to leave in the middle of the final race in the round of 8. Very easily could have won a championship, could Angel Hernandez have last year. This year, dominant cars left and right, just unfortunately has not been able to put it together until tonight. First road course race, he has been the second best car all night long, to be fair. But when the best car runs into some trouble, he's right there to pick up the pieces as he heads down into the final chicane, or the backstretch chicane for the final time. Angel Hernandez looking to notch up win number 6 in his iSNF career. His first win of season 7. And for the iSNF Cup Series, it will be 4 different winners in 4 races. Here for season 7, coming out of the final chicane, Angel Hernandez wins the NASCAR HQ 100.
What a race there, Frank. What a race.
Absolutely. Jackson Carr coming across the line in second. And about a half a lap behind. Well, a full lap and a half behind, I should say, is Isaac Wilson. Came out of nowhere to win the first stage at the iRacing Superspeedway last week. He will follow up a disappointing end to that race at ISS last week with a 3rd place finish here today. And one I'm sure he will be very happy about.
And that 24 car looks pretty clean. It looks like he had a couple of moments and, that weren't to his liking, but nonetheless, he still came home with a decent looking car.
Working on getting the drivers in here for their interviews, but here is your race winner, Angel Hernandez. First black and white checkered flag of the season after collecting a couple of green and white ones. We'll bring him in now. Angel Hernandez may have had the second fastest car here today, but you made the least amount of mistakes with the most speed. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks.
What was it like here tonight? 39 drivers, a full NASCAR field, effectively. What was it like with the pace difference for a lot of these drivers trying to work your way through that traffic, trying not to lose too much time?
Yeah, it was tough. I know Josh got caught out a couple times passing traffic, and I think that's how I got by him early in the race. But yeah, I was just trying to manage that, stay out of trouble, try and look for any cars ahead that might be a problem in the future. And just trying to minimize mistakes.
That last call to pit, how short were you, and did you think Jackson Carr had enough fuel to make it the rest of the way, or did you know he was going to have to pit as well?
I was like about 3 laps short. But I was pretty confident that Jackson was gonna have to come back in. I was actually trying to cover off Boucher if he was gonna catch up, just try and get in between. But obviously that didn't happen. But everything ended up working out fine. So I don't know.
Next week we go back oval racing. I'm sure everyone's going to be happy about that. To the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. What are your thoughts going into that race now, knowing you are in the playoffs?
Just try and run, I guess. Try and go for another win, but it is a bit more of a not plate track, but I guess a bit more of a draft track than other mile and a half. So same thing, just try and stay out of trouble and stay with the leaders.
All right. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Josh, Michael, Tristan, Andrew was in there as well. All those guys.
All right. Your race winner and points leader, Angel Hernandez. Bud, congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
And now we'll go to our second place finisher, Jackson Carr. Jackson, a very good run for you here tonight. Finished very, very well. The only other car on the lead lap, just unfortunately the fuel tank didn't last you as long as you needed it to.
Yeah, unfortunate race. I think Angel and I were very close on speed. I think I was a little bit quicker, but 3/10 around here is nothing when one lap car loses you a second. So close race. I don't know if you got on the broadcast, but we had like a 5-car battle per second. We were all under like second and a half for like 12 laps at one point. So I knew the battle for the lead with Charles was going to be non-existent. It was going to be battle for second, and that first whole sequence was all for second. I know I messed up and I lost 3 positions, which never happens at a road course. Usually you mess up, you might lose a spot, but 3 is rare. So everybody was really even on cue. I knew it was going to be a hard race right at the beginning. All the time, like first was a second quicker than us, and then second to 7th was within 3/10. So wish I got it done. I'm disappointed. Good to get it back after Rockingham. Rockingham was terrible, so we're on the up again. Only up from here. I don't know if I can do next week. We'll have to see. A lot of big Daytona 500s coming up, so just unfortunate. I just couldn't get through traffic like Angel could.
Speaking of that traffic, you had gotten into a little bit of a tangle with the 24 in the last handful of laps. What happened from your vantage point on that?
It's one of they're boats with square wheels. Like if you miss your braking point, like it's just not gonna turn. I got in there. I don't know if you heard on the broadcast. I hope you couldn't hear voice chat because they got pretty heated. So we both got our chats removed. So, but we made it up in the waiting room. So we're good now. I mean, I messed up. It was my fault. I sent it in there while he had a lap car in front of him, and I tagged him. So, whoops. I would have made the corner anyways, but I probably should have read the situation better, and that hopefully will never happen again.
Well, as long as you got it out, we go to Fontana next week, high speeds, back on the ovals again. What are your thoughts going into Fontana, if you can make it?
I won last year. I've won. I don't think I won maybe I did win the year before that too. I don't know. I just want to go back to back with Fontana. I love it. It's a great track. I don't really like it short run, but long run when pit strategy, it's one of the best pit strategy tracks in the game. I'll have to see timing wise when the FTF 500 is. If I make the race, it kind of depends on that. I have the duels later for FTF to see if I make it into the 500. If I do make it into the 500, it'll depend on the race start. But if I don't make it in, I will definitely be going at it Fontana next week.
All right. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah. Obviously Mark, the team owner, colleague, for paying the entry fee. Christian for keeping me on my toes there. It's always good to have somebody else to talk to so you don't get too bored. Keep you sane during these. My dad for this Moses setup. PBR, the Bean Team.
All right. Your second place finisher tonight, Jackson Carr, but congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
Now we'll go to our third place finisher, Isaac Wilson. Isaac, it's not that often you finish a lap down in third place, but a solid enough run for you to get you that podium finish.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to even get third. Usually I don't even finish that top five. Not a big fan of Charlotte. I think the race is way too long if you ask me, but hey, it is what it is. So 2 top fives in a row, I'll take it.
Certainly. What was it like for you here tonight? Because you're in a very interesting spot. You were faster than a lot of the guys here. You put down the 4th fastest lap of the race, but you're also a lap down, so you're not really getting the benefit of the slower cars moving over for you. How difficult did that make it tonight?
No, for the most part, everyone moved over when they needed to. As far as the race went, after that first stage, I saw that like a 20-second buffer both ways, and I was like, I'm just gonna race my race and not make too many mistakes, so I can at least manage the top 5. And I guess the 3 had issues and 71 had issues, and next thing I know, my spot is senior in third, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's go.
We go back to the ovals where everyone's going to be a little bit more comfortable in Fontana next week. What are your thoughts going into Auto Club Speedway?
Oh, I love Auto Club. It's a shame that they had to do what they did to it. But, I mean, maybe they can tear down Texas International next.
Fair enough. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
No, I actually got to hop out of here. Wife's in pain. She just got done with surgery. So, big shout out to her let me do this race even after her surgery she had the other day. So, I got to get out of here and go make sure she's okay.
All right, you do that. Isaac Wilson, your third place finisher tonight. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that was Isaac Wilson and Alan. A very, very good race here tonight. A very interesting race. Twists and turns left and right. Not just the ones that we were expecting, but also in the storyline of the race as well. It was a very good night here at the Charlotte Roval.
Yeah, what a race. I mean, like, to your point, I mean, left and right turns. Next week we go back oval racing. We're just gonna make left turns next week at Fontana, and that'll essentially be a home race for you, Frank.
Yeah, that will be a home race for me. It's the only NASCAR race I've ever attended as well. 2015, Jeff Gordon's last year. So, as with that, we'll save those stories for next week. We'll go to the finishing results here today because I'm sure everyone wants to watch the clash at the Coliseum. So Angel Hernandez gets the win, his 6th win in the iSNF series, the 4th different winner this season for the series. Jackson Carr, Isaac Wilson, Jack Yeagerman, Christian Delgado, your top 5, Andrew Miller, Larry Fairman, Jerry Parker, Rosa Laszlo, Adrian Arenas, your top 10. Matt Metler, Chris Van Mastrick, Jeff Weimer, Charles Etienne Boucher, John Hopley, Matthias Busk, Bob Wyckoff, Stephen Sear, with Rhea Ferris and Jarrett McCauley rounding out the top 20. Hayden Lowell, Casey Tomlinson, James Vining, Nathan Christensen, Michael Gervey down to 25th. Michael Hagstrom, Joshua Grosso, Cowie Gomez, Shane Griffin, and Adam Aylshire to 30th. Tristan Bailey, Charles Halterman, Michael Iskander, Julian Pastor, and Drew Hullman down to 35th. Joey Maines, Mike Simon, Justin Barkley did not finish this race, and Robert Rowe did not start. He'll finish in 39th. So that will do it for us here tonight. We will see you next week from the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. For my broadcast partner, Alan Bergen, I'm Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. And remember, folks, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night.